This is a summer to get into your body because we want the certainty of knowing why we need to do what we need to do. And a lot of that certainty is going to come in the doing. And I feel like a lot of the doing at this moment in time, whether it feels light or heavy, is still play. So whether it feels like you're playing with your favorite, new toy, or it feels like your heart is outside of your chest and you cannot believe how big things are, stick to the doing. Stick to the doingness of it. Stick to the moment of being in the now. That is the invitation of this season. Hello, and welcome to the Osumaré Learning Podcast. My name is Portia Michelle Osumaré. I am here with Parsha Osumaré holding it down, and this is our State of the Season podcast. We are in summer 2026, and I am here with my Soulwork sisters yet again to have a conversation with you all about what we want us to be thinking about and what we would like for you all to be preparing for the season ahead. We are knee deep in summer. And getting ready to prepare. So I would love to introduce my illustrious panel. Get each of you all feel free to introduce yourselves. We'll go Ilona, Jennifer, and then Kira. And then we will get started in giving you all a bit of a frame of what we think is coming up this summer. So Ilona, I will throw to you first.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. I'm Ilona Pamplona. I'm on a mission to help you know yourself. I usually use astrology, human design, and other fun personal assessment tools. And I'm also the founder of Your Aura at Work, while we're giving human design solutions and information for life and for business. I'm so excited to be here. Jennifer, pass it on to you.
Love it. So excited to be here too. I am Jennifer Bohn. I am a holistic wellness coach, intuitive movement, and embodiment guide. I am here to help you find wellness your own way. So, not the protocols on the internet, but finding wellness within your own body, within your own rhythm, within your own well of wisdom that you have within. So, that is my passion and what I love to help people with. So, yeah, so excited to be here too. Miss Kira.
I love y'all so much. Um, it was just like a shot of dopamine, serotonin, just all the happy chemicals. Okay, hi, I'm Kira. I am writer and teacher and ceremonialist, integrative medicine practitioner, clinical holistic doula. I think in this season, a doula for the mind, body, and spirit. And so I am joining you and these beautiful ladies from a liminal space today. And I'm standing at the threshold between knowing and mystery. I'm happy to be in the conversation today.
Delicious. And like I told you all, I'm Portia Michelle Osumaré, as well as getting to host this wonderful show. I am also the CEO of the Cultivated Joy Experiment. I am the CXO of Osumaré Learning these days. We got double babies. Now I got twins. Since last y'all saw me, I've given birth to something else. I am also a head cousin at the Business Cousins Collective. And my work in the world really is all about supporting people and doing real good with their businesses, having a real good time doing it. I'm realizing as I step into my soul sisters conversation, Kira spoke this over my life a couple of years ago, and it's getting even more true as the years go on. I am coming, and choosing to stand at the precipice of supporting people in healing their relationship that they have with these do-gooder businesses. I realize that one of the things that I get to do with my life is to support people in healing that relationship with the medium that helps you get your good out there. Because, we've taken some hits there as well. So more to come, I'm sure, as we have conversation about how this summer is going to be popping off. But y'all, you're in for it. We've been around the world and I since last we've seen you. We have lots and lots to chat about, our own journeys so inform the work that we do with everyone. And I know all four of us on this call learned so much from the people that we serve while being in service. as well as serving ourselves. And so we are coming at you well, time tested and true, with some, notes for you to consider over the summer. We'll start with Ilona. Will really give us a good crack off into astrologically what to expect from a human design perspective, what to expect. Jennifer, bring us into the body. Kira, round us into the integration of all of that mind, body, and soul. And then I will round it out with some themes of what I want us to be looking at, particularly from a business perspective, but also in our leadership and how we stand in business. You'll hear us chat about each other's thoughts in between, and then we'll round it on out. Tuck in. It'll be a good time. I will kick us off with you, Miss Ilona Pamplona. What do you see for the summer in the stars, my darling?
There's a lot. So I tried to break it down into 3 key themes. So these are my 3 key themes that I'm seeing for our biz cousins, for our audience. I'm seeing communication slash voice activation. I'm seeing a season of retrogrades and a period of eclipse, right? Because we have eclipse somewhere in the middle of this season. I was looking from July to the end of September as kind of like this quarter of what we're looking at. And when we're looking at July, we've got so much happening between Mercury and Uranus. And Uranus just went into Gemini. And Gemini is ruled by Mercury. It is the curiosity, it is the voice, it is the speaking, it is part of like that whole thoughts and words. So we've got Mercury retrograde at the start of this summer season, this second quarter of the astrological year, third quarter of the financial year, however you want to look at it. But this season, we're starting off with a lot of how are you using your voice? Where is your voice being activated? With Uranus being that like thunderbolt, you might not even realize what's coming out of your mouth. You might not realize what's going into your brain. You might not realize what's trying to, be spoken through you. So pay attention to what's coming through. Pay attention to what's happening all of a sudden. Pay attention to what you blurted out and didn't realize. Also, because we're starting off with this Mercury retrograde, and this Mercury retrograde is in Cancer, feelings are feedback. Pay attention to when your feelings want you to say something and give yourself time to process before you say it. Because as you know, any retrograde is a planning season. It's a review season. So really give yourself towards the end of July to act upon anything that has been said or that thoughts that are coming into you, because it's going to probably activate your feelings. It's going to be triggering your feelings. I had a situation just recently this past week where World Cup triggered someone and they decided to give me some feedback about how they felt, even though we've never interacted IRL. And I was able to really witness how Mercury retrograde had put someone in their feelings and had them lash out vocally. So watch what's happening. Instead of acting on your feelings, pay attention to it. You know what? This is a season to have a conversation with your feelings before you have a conversation with someone else. Have a conversation with your own feelings before you have a conversation with someone else. That's kind of my download. Uranus and Gemini just hit it that way, y'all. So really pay attention. And we have we have 2 Mercury Kazimis. So Kazimis are where like the planet is exactly at the same degree as the sun. So it kind of like burns through and like reinvents itself. We've got one July 12th and one August 27th. We have this season to really reinvent how we speak, reinvent how we communicate, reinvent how we get curious. And with the Mercury retrograde in the beginning of it, it's going to ask us to have this conversation with our feelings as we redefine what communication and thought is. Okay. So that's the first part. Second part, we got a lot of retrogrades in this season. Mercury's already in retrograde. We've got Neptune retrograde July 7th. And I did pull out the human design gates for these, right? So when we're looking at the retrogrades, I'm going to give you the theme of the human design gates that they're going to be really transiting through. And the question is, let's look at like what the shadow is so we can enter the gift, right? So we've got Jupiter retrograde in the gate of opinions. So we get to pay, and there's this fear of being challenged with the gate of opinions. If I'm not mistaken, it's gate 17. I have to go back because so many gates, so many data points. But it's about, Neptune being in retrograde starting July 7th. I want you to pay attention where you feel like you don't want to be challenged, because you got an opinion, right? Because the gift is actually being able to see far and wide and not just near. So in this summer season, while you're navigating this communication theme, pay attention to where you don't want to be challenged. because it's going to help us actually help you process the big picture. On July 26th, we've got Saturn in retrograde till December in gate 21, which is the gate of the hunter huntress. I love this gate because it comes out of the ego, which is that confidence and willpower. And so in this gate, it's all about trying to be in control. So we get to pay attention in this season with Saturn being retrograde in Aries is, where are you trying to control things? Where are you afraid to surrender, right? Because the gift, when you can actually surrender, when you're not trying to control things, you actually step into your authority. Authority doesn't require control. Authority requires your confidence, your courage, your authentic self, not control. So pay attention during this Saturn retrograde where you're trying to control things. And it's really interesting because it's not always that Saturn's going to be retrograde in the gate of control, right? 64 gates, right? So it's this, and Saturn's that sky daddy. He wants things to be done his way. So we get to really reel in and be responsible with our authority and not come off as a controlling person. August 3rd, we have Chiron in retrograde in the gate of ordering. So it's like the sense of you know, so this gate shows up as chaos in its shadow, right? So I want you to pay attention in August. Where's chaos happening? How are you the source of chaos? How are you perpetuating chaos? Because the gift of this gate is actually innovation. Right? So and so it's like, instead of being like, oh, everything's a mess and I'm going to keep perpetuating a mess, where can you create something new instead of letting the mess continue to happen? Right? I think about like, y'all, the world's a mess right now, and everyone's just like blabbering into the mess and perpetuating how messy it is, and not a lot of people are doing something new to get us through the mess, right? This is what this Chiron, and it's in Chiron is in Taurus right now, right? Because it just moved into Taurus. But on a human design level, typically when we're on the cusp, the first few degrees and the last few degrees of one sign, they share the same human design gate. So when it goes retrograde into Aries, it's still going to be in this little chaos ordering cycle. So we really want to pay attention to how we can contribute to the innovation and having something new happen, instead of just being another person on the social medias talking about what's not working and how messy it is and complaining about what's happening on everyone else's doorstep, instead of actually doing something new to change it. And then we have Uranus retrograde in September at the end of this quarter. And this is a big one because, our outer planets move a little slower. So the gates are going to be slower, right? Like Neptune is going to be in that gate for a while. Uranus is going to be in this gate. It's going to be in gate 20. Gate 20 is a throat gate, and it's the gate of the now. It is about the recognition and awareness of the now, which transforms understanding into right action, right? So the core theme is instantaneous clarity in action, right? So what we don't want to do is focus on the past. I don't want you focusing on what could have been, what didn't happen, where we could go. We need a lot of being present in the moment. We need being in the now. We need nowness, presence in the present, right? How many of us are not even in the moment as we're driving and when we're meeting with someone, while we're doing some kind of task, right? We need this Uranus and Gemini in this gate for a little bit now, and a little bit longer. It's definitely going to go into next year. It's going to be saying, I need you to be here right now. Very Ram Dass, be here now. Be here now. So I need all of us, as we're reinventing our communication, as we're going through, what am I saying? How am I thinking? We're going to need this Uranus energy of being in the moment to really see and witness, like it says, the recognition, awareness in the now, which transforms understanding into the right action. We can only create this new right action if we're in the moment to be able to see what needs to be corrected. We can't, like, being busy and staying like this gives me, oh yeah, of course, it makes sense that chaos needs to be ordered in another planet, right? It makes sense that like our words and thoughts are all over the place because Uranus is saying, I need you to be here now. And it's instant. It's instant. It's like a lightning bolt. It gets to be that simple. And of course, humans, we make things difficult. Now, from there, we've got the eclipses. So we've got the solar eclipse on August 12th, lunar eclipse on August 27th. Solar eclipse is in Leo in gate 4, line 2 at the moment of the eclipse. And it's all about forgiveness, y'all. So we know Leo to be the big energy and the, center of the universe because it's ruled by the sun. But with the gate that it's in, it's about tolerance through recognition that not everyone can understand. It's the potential tolerance to forgive follies as one is aware that one cannot always be in awareness, right? So the beginning. So Leo rules the heart. This eclipse, the solar eclipse, what we get to step into, because the solar eclipse is what we get to grow, what we get to step into is we get to lean into that heart and be more tolerant. That doesn't mean that we get to, that bad things get to perpetuate, but when we can act from like this person truly doesn't know better, we can probably be more discerning on where we can take action or not, because the shadow of this is our ego taking control and trying to take advantage of other people's lack of awareness. And so we really want to be tolerant, we want to be forgiving, and we get to realize that not all of us are on the same level. And that's okay, because not all of us have the same journey, not all of us have the same mission, not all of us are here to serve in the same way. And so we get to really not harness our energy on those who are just not at that awareness level. We cannot reach out. Y'all, we cannot reach the entire world. There are 8 point something billion people. We're here to reach the people we're here to reach. Stop, be tolerant, like forgive those who can't handle it and focus on the people who are here and ready for your message, for your gifts. Okay? Now, on August 27th, we have the lunar eclipse in Pisces. Now, it's really interesting, right? Because the beginning, and I forgot to mention we have a nodal shift. I'll end with the nodal shift, but we start with the nodal shift eclipse and we end clearing out the Virgo Pisces axis. So we've got this Pisces lunar eclipse in gate 55, line 6. Y'all, gate 55 is literally called the gate of abundance. But the key theme here is abundance is a matter of spirit, right? And so the vibe here is that so first of all, gate 55, line 6 is about individual responsibility in this question of abundance. Material wealth and individual spirit are dependent on each other. We have to be responsible that the way we develop our spirit and the material wealth we create, they are interdependent. They rely on each other. You cannot be a spiritual broke girly. We are in the third dimension. You get to be paid for your gifts. And at the same time, having money is not all that's meant to be. There is a purpose and a spirit in with which you could use it. And I saw some reflections and I loved it, right? Because it's this calls us to, where do we insist on being limited? And because this is a lunar eclipse, it's about releasing, right? Because the eclipse, the lunar ones are about the full moons, right? So we get to release where we insist on being limited. So on that portal, I want you to release your limitations. Where are you unable to embrace that you are a spiritual being in a physical realm? Where do you get to release, like, not having fun? It's literally, ask yourself, where have you lost your joie de vivre? We're in the third dimension. You came here to enjoy life. The accumulation of material resources is not what's going to give you happiness. But we can realize that when you have material resources, you can create some level of happiness. They go hand in hand. They are not one or the other, right? We got a whole bunch of billionaires out here being miserable people. They cannot buy friends. I'm not going to say any names, but we know who they are. There are people out there with all the money in the world right now, and no one wants to be their friend, because having it is not the point. But also, being this evolved spiritual girly with no resources is also not the point. It is, where do we get to create the both and in this being a spiritual being in the physical realm? So it's about being abundant in enjoying your life and being okay. Like, also, create, because I know a lot of our biz cousins and our people listening, right? We're probably trying to manifest and source a new level of abundance. So please do not limit your ability to create. If you're already developed your spirit, it is time to know that it is okay to bring in the money, to have those resources, to enjoy your gifts and your purpose at a new level. Now, the last thing that I really think is important is we have a nodal shift. The nodes change about every 18 months. And so about July 26th, the North Node enters Aquarius, our rebel. The North Node is our point of destiny, which means the South Node goes into Leo. So our point of destiny is Aquarius, all things Aquarius. Aquarius is the collective. It is about technology. It's about the future. It is not about the past. It is not about regression. It's about progress. It is not about the past. It's about the future. It is not about me doing everything alone. It's about who are my people? Who do I get to work with and who gets to be served and gifted with me and by me, right? It is not lone wolfing. It is about the community, right? And so we're entering a new season, y'all. If you have been lone wolfing, yes, I know I have a manifestor aura. I got a lot of like being on my own vibes, but I know I can't do this alone, right? So if you're one of those people, it's like, but Ilona, it's just really, no, there are people for you. You get to understand at what volumes you interact with people, but life is a team sport and you get to find your people. Okay. Also, Aquarius is also technology. I'm not necessarily a big fan of all our data centers and crap like that. But where can you leverage technology? Where can you leverage being supported? Where can you actually bring your spirit into the right technologies to advance your mission? Right. It is the progress. It is the future. Also, where do you get to move forward? Where are you so stuck in doing things the old way that you're keeping yourself from your next level? The destiny here is moving forward. And so the interesting rub here is that Jupiter is in Leo this year from now until next summer, and it will be in opposition to this North Node. So it's not like, Jupiter being in whatever planet isn't always like, welcome to your most abundant year of fortune, like all the forecasts on the internet says, right? Like not every Jupiter is that easy. This is going to be a Jupiter where you get to work. If you're going to be your Jupiter in Leo, yeah, be visible, but also know you need community. You can't do it by yourself. It gets to be a both and you don't have to Alexander Hamilton, Aaron Burr duel it from one side of the chart to the other and think it has to be one. No, take the space that you need with Jupiter and Leo to be visible, but also know that you need your community, you need to move forward, you need the progress, and you need to find what that looks like for you in the middle for it to work instead of sacrificing one for the other. Now, I know there are a lot of other transits, but I think I am complete with that.
Can't even get off mute fast enough. That's a good one. Oh, you just said your good words, friend. Oh, copious notes as usual. I'm trying to find one centering point that I want to stand on because there were so many good ones. I'm so excited. I'm terrified at these eclipses because the lunar eclipse is happening right all up in my moon, and I already know what that usually means for your girl. So I'm looking forward to what new grief I get to go through come the end of August with this South Node eclipse, because that is what's on the docket for me. But the idea of us moving into Aquarius, really getting this moment, like this kind of first North Node in Aquarius while Pluto is in Aquarius, the power to the people conversation makes me so excited. And was in my Good Channy devotion this morning, and I heard Channy say that the name of the game, even this week and in this conversation, is whose imagination gets to win. There's not enough people imagining themselves to win. You can imagine that everything else is inevitable. How about your success? How about your joy? How about the right people that you should be on? How about the right places that you should go and be in doing it? And I love what you said, Ilona, around the visibility of coming into Jupiter and Leo, because I'm tired of talking heads being visible for no freaking reason. Be visible because the people need to see you doing what they need to see you doing. How about that? How about for the sake of the collective? Because everything else could just be hot air. And there's an opportunity here to be in the hot air balloon with everybody else. And I love the distinction that you brought to cutting it. Love, love, love. Kira, I'm going to go to you next. And then Jennifer, feel free to round us out and then enter us into what you see for the summer. Kira Buckley.
Ilona. I'm gonna go with two that felt like sucker punches, but necessary. How are you the source of chaos versus innovating, which is the gift of that gate? But the way that sits, and I know Jennifer is going to take us into the body sitting into this season, but that packs such a powerful punch with the plethora of what is being released in fear and panic and chaos and paranoia, and how we regurgitate that even in our good intentions. And I don't know who needs to hear this. You, you, you need to. We need to hear it. We, that which the medicine is coming from. It's us. So that one, and then I've been sitting with this for a while, just with the words abundance and limitless. Uh, the universe is in love with me. Portia knows that, like I have lived with that for so many years, but also in the new ways that the universe loves me, that the divine love, like in love with me. Do you know how it feels for someone to be in love with you? Not just love you, but anticipate your needs. But you said, where do we insist on being limited? Not just where are we limited, it's the insist on. And you know, I'm a lover of words. I see what you did there. Where do you insist on? I mean, you're defending it, you fighting for it. You are arguing for this. You are you are the source of chaos for limited living. And that too is such it just feels like one of those call to actions, almost to like hook ourselves up to an IV. That's the image I'm getting right now. Like feed yourself. Um But before you do that, like be honest about how you are also starving yourself. You're the source of starvation. Thank you for that gift and reminder.
Again, a word, such a word. Ugh, absolutely love. And that the insist really got on me too. I said, oh, okay. Yep. Where is it that I'm standing on it, fighting for it, righteous about it? I can and I am and fighting for limitation and lack. Ugh, loving that. Jennifer, what sparked for you? And then let us know what is coming in for you in the summer.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Yeah, that insist that oof, that I felt that gut punch too. That I think we all insist on being limited in some way or another. And so it's just yeah, that word insist just really hit me too. And thank you for like double downing on that, Kira. Everything you said on that is just like yep, we get to look at that this season. And also the abundance is a matter of spirit. I love that. Like leaning into that. How can we use that spirit, that divine energy to just like dissolve that insistence, that grip, that like I'm gonna stand on this hill and die on it when we don't need to. We can float off of that hill onto another beautiful island somewhere else with abundance everywhere. So, what really popped through for me of like little pieces of everything that you said was innovation in communication. That just kind of landed on how like so much of this season is about communication in the stars, so much of it is about innovation and like letting go of control, that piece about the feelings, being present. Like how can we innovate our communication and be in touch with our feelings, not just like just word vomit them out into the world, before we actually process through it ourselves, taking that responsibility for our feelings and how we're feeling first, and then being in that present moment when we're in communication with others. How often do you see people on their phones? Often a day is not listening, just half there, half like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Like, can we bring a different level of presence and nowness to just innovate the way that we are communicating with each other? I think that is such medicine for the world right now, especially with all of the voices, all of the noise, all of the just like talking all over each other. Nobody's actually listening. So, yeah, I love that. Innovating our communication this season. So good. So good. So I have been kind of I'm coming into a bit of a different relationship with summer. I feel like this season than I have in the past. I have always kind of seen summer as this like very outward, very active, like lots of energy. And as I've kind of been, in this exploration of my own inner rhythms, of the rhythms of the planet, rhythms of the earth, and I'm just kind of seeing like how each season, how we're in like a wave. We're in a wave. And I'm seeing like spring being that up wave. It's like that energy, that outward growth energy. We're like busting through the ground. We're doing all the things to like grow. And then we come down. And summer is a little bit more of an exhale. It's a little bit more of like a softening. I've never thought of summer in that energy before. And it's a little bit more of like, it's an active rest, but it is a rest. There is activity to it, but there is a rest element to it as well. There is a slowdown. There is like a savoring the season. And then we kind of go back up the wave in fall. There's a little more outward energy, a little more like, okay, I'm shedding, I'm looking at the things, I'm gathering the harvest, I'm like canning all the stuff, I'm getting ready for winter, like the winter prep. And then we get into winter's that like down wave again, and it's that inward rest, right? So I'm just playing around with summer energy in a different way this year. And the biggest, well, I won't say the biggest. I have like three kind of energies, three themes that are popping up for me. The first one is awe, wonder, and whimsy. Like this summer just feels like an awe, wonder, and whimsy time to like be in the world. And how can we bring in that play, bring in that enjoyment, bring in, savoring the season, savoring the sunset, savoring like that the evenings, like the warm evenings where we're out just talking with friends. Like how can we really like just feel that? How can we be in that energy, in that wonder, in that like curiosity of life again? Like, how have we forgotten? We're so in our adulting boxes and, we got to do the things and check the boxes and all the stuff. Like with businesses, there's a lot that goes into that, right? But we can, I feel like, get stuck in that heady kind of up in our head. We got to do all of the mental stuff. Can we kind of drop into our bodies in this summer season and just play and just stare at the sky and watch the bird like flit around, between the trees and like just take that time? Can we embrace laziness? Oh my God. Like laziness is such a like tarot, it's like it's a curse word in the world. Like it's gotten so vilified. Lazy is bad. It's terrible. We can't be lazy. Oh my God, you're a POS if you're a lazy there's just so much that has been piled on that sense of laziness. Can we just be lazy and can we be guilt-free lazy this summer? Like, just really following our delight, following our aliveness, following that playful, silly, just spontaneous, just that whimsy energy, right? So, what would make you like a question I've kind of been sitting it with is what would make you fall even more in love with your life and your business? Can we come at it from that question, not from the logistics and the strategy? Like, what would actually make you fall even more in love with your life? Even more in love with your business? What would that look like? What could that look like as we're in this season of innovation, right? Like bringing in that kind of innovative energy, not just doing things the same way we've been doing them. So I feel like there's an opportunity for like a convergence of our inner child and our adults, like coming together and just being with each other. And we've also, again, like vilified lazy. We've also kind of vilified like adulting. Like adulting is just this thing that feels so heavy. It's this like, I got to do the adulting things. I want to encourage and invite us to think back to when you were a kid, when you were a teenager, when you could not wait to be an adult. Like you were just like, please get me to adulthood. Like, let's do this adult thing. What were you excited about? What was it about being an adult that just like lit you up and you could not wait to get there? Can we connect to that piece, whatever that is for you? Like for me, it really felt like freedom. It's like when I'm an adult, I can finally be free from my parents' rules, from the rules of school and whatever, like all the things. I can live my own life. I can do whatever I want. Like bringing in that like passion, that curiosity, again, that wonder of like, what could my life look like? Just bringing back that energy of what do we really love and enjoy about being an adult? And can we like infuse that into like all the adulting things that we've made so heavy and just this weight on our shoulders? And then also like remember as adults, like remembering back, what did we love about being a kid? What was so great about being a child? And can we just bring those together? Can we have our adult and our inner child just be playing this summer? Can we just play with each other, right? Like bringing in that energy. Just softening our certainty, like we're taught so much in this business world to like fake it till we make it. Well, what if we just like play till we make it? What if we just like, you know, whimsy through the world until we find our way and what works for us and we made it? Like, can that be making it? So just bringing a little more honesty, a little more curiosity into this season, and just kind of seeing yourself, seeing your body, seeing your life, your business with fresh eyes, with that like childlike awe and wonder, that just playful silliness. So that was the first thing that has felt really loud for this season. The second one is I think I talked about this last summer on our podcast, was the slow burn, like embracing the slow burn. It's coming back around. It's still there. It's still like right there in the forefront for me. Embracing the slow burn and letting summer simmer instead of it being a wildfire, like whoosh of energy, this hot flame that's burning us, that is just like that go, go, go energy. I think our culture just has the tendency to be in that fire energy constantly and to like, uh, it celebrates that fire energy. It celebrates us being productive and go, go, go and doing all the things and like being out there. And that's great. There's absolutely times and places for that. But how is that burning you out? How is that like creating this wildfire conditions that are just like going to destroy everything, destroy you? So also with this being the year of the fire horse, like, have you just been sprinting right out the gates? Or have you like allowed yourself some time to slow down? Like, is your fire horse a little tired? Is it feeling a little ragged? Does it need to like go in the barn and, and grab some water and a nap? So just bring like just being in that inquiry of where are you letting yourself get burned by this fire energy, by too much fire energy, by letting your fire be too hot. Um, and making hydration and coolness like the priority for this summer. And yes, it can be that physical piece of like drinking your water. Absolutely. Yes. Cheers to that. Drinking your water. Yes, that's a physical piece of hydration, of bringing that coolness to calm the fire down. But it could also look like one thing that's really, really in the forefront around that hydration and coolness. What could represent that is boundaries and discernment. That can be your hydration this summer. Bringing in boundaries, bringing in that discernment. What do you want this summer season to be for you? Not like, I have to go to all the family barbecues and I have to do this holiday thing and I have to like, have to XYZ, whatever, fill in the blank for you. What do you actually want your summer to be? Like, do you want a lazy summer, but you haven't allowed yourself to accept that or want that or actually do that? And how does that nourishment, how does that self-care for your body, how does that look different in this season? So what does that hydration, that cool energy, what is that for your body? What is your body actually craving in this season? And how is it different? Because every season our body requires different needs. It has different needs. It has different desires, different wants, different things that help it to thrive in each season. So being in that inquiry of listening to your body, honoring that wisdom that's coming up within, trust that voice that comes through of like, I don't want to go to this thing. Trust that. Like, trust that. Use those boundaries and that discernment to cool your fire down and just honor the simmer, and honor the flame. Like, we get to, like, I see the slow burn as like those hot coals, like the hot coals in a campfire where you can put a piece of wood on there and like that flame just ignites and you can have that like fire energy when you want it. And then it also like calms back down and it's just that like simmer, that hot coals. So just being in that balance and really paying attention to your fire energy and how you're using it. And then my final theme of this season just really feels like medicine of the heart. So that heart energy, fire, that element associated with the heart, the summer season with that heart energy. And at the core of heart energy is just that unconditional, right? If we break it all down, we get down to the core of it is that unconditional love. And when you were talking, Ilona, about like the chaos, like how are you being the chaos? What does that chaos look like? Like it is that fear, it is anxiety, it is judgment, it is overwhelm, it is all of that stuff that creates the chaos, right? What's the antidote to that? Can we love it? Yeah, unconditional love. Can we use that medicine of unconditional love to be the antidote to the fear, to the judgment, to the anxiety, to all of the chaos around us? Can we be that like center, unconditional love, like just in the center, just holding that lantern, holding the light, whatever it is, whatever image comes to you? Just be that in the chaos and just watch the chaos dissipate, like letting that heart energy just be the thing that like dissipates it, that like dissolves like the burdens of the mind. So yeah, I just feeling that unconditionally loving energy and then also bringing it into the body. How can we fall more in love with these beautiful bodies this season? Like, can we go deeper? We can always go deeper. There is always room to go deeper, even no matter how long you've been on this journey, no matter how long you've created a relationship. If you've been doing that for a long time, there's always ways to go deeper. Or if you're brand new to it, like there's always ways to jump in and to go deeper with it. So just deepening that partnership. I always talk about this body is like the only physical relationship on this physical plane that we have from the first breath we take till the last breath we take. It's the only thing that we have with us 24/7 through every single moment of our lives. So how can we really honor and respect and get to know our bodies, right? Like that's such a gift to someone that you love, is like getting to know them deeply. What do they desire? What do they love? What do they hate? What makes them like tick? What do, just be really being in that curiosity, in that wonder, like bringing that awe and wonder back in, being in awe and wonder of your body. Like how can you go deeper with that and really create the space for conversation and for listening and bringing in Ilona's. Like, I just love how none of us get together at the beginning of this podcast. They're like, hey, I'm going to talk about this. Oh, I'm going to, and it always just is right on point. We were all talking about the same things. So just bringing in that innovation in communication. How can you bring in a new level of communication with your body, with listening, with being in that pause, being in that presence, being in that now moment with your body, so you can really allow that wisdom to come through. And it's your wisdom, right? It's not anything you're seeing outside of you. It's all within you. So just getting curious at, what have you not appreciated about your body lately or maybe ever? What have you not ever appreciated about your body? What's something you've never acknowledged your body for that it does for you all the time? A practice, like just to bring in a tangible practice for y'all, if you want to do this. One of my favorite practices is a self appreciation massage, and just going from head to toe, just touching being with every part of your body, massaging, loving it, giving that loving touch. And as you're on that part of your body, just really feeling what does my shoulder do for me? Like, what does my shoulder, my arm allow me to do in my life every day? What do my hands do? What do these legs like? Where do they take me? So just being in that appreciation and giving your body that loving touch, that self appreciation massage. So, yeah, just really working with that heart element, the medicine of the heart, the medicine of unconditional love, and how can we bring that into our lives and be in that energy in our bodies and allow that to just radiate out into the world. How can our own life be different, and then how does that ripple out and affect our intimate relationships, our home, our community, like going out in the ripples. So that to me is how we change the world. Yeah, I am complete.
Ooh, good goodness, Jennifer Bond. I'm like, oh, you've been doing things that you love. I can tell. I done known you for a long time. You looking good, friend. You've been in your good work.
I
Okay,
received
everybody been
that.
working. Everybody's been working. It isn't. This is a year of actualization, and it's a brilliant thing to watch all of you actualize. One, to witness actualization. Two, Jennifer, I am so many things. I can't even. I'm like, I equally got this huge download around the power of play and the necessary, like lifeline necessariness of that this season for so many people. It ain't gonna be for everybody, but it's gonna be for most of us. It is a season to find something to celebrate. It's a season to play. And it's been so funny because, for those of you who don't know, I don't really sport. Like, I don't do the sport ball. I've been playing the pickleball, y'all. And I found myself sitting at the little thing with my little paddle playing the pickleball. I am not athletic. Like, it's just it. And I realized that I have never played sports for enjoyment. It hit me in this retrograde that the only way I've ever played sports was because someone told me I had to. And so I survived the sport. I didn't know that you played to enjoy. So I have been playing the pickleball, and I was like, there have been so many moments of complete mindlessness where I'm thinking about nothing else except for what I am doing, and I'm just enjoying it. And I'm like, oh, this is what play is. Oh, this is why it's important. It's a break on 1,000,001 levels. And from a business perspective, for those of you all who are TEDx and TED fans, TED just launched this partnership with Lego called TED Play. And now they're having play labs all over the country. They had this 5-hour long presentation about the neuroscience of play for adults and how important it is. And so again, this is an interesting kind of concoction to be mentioning in. That's a big theme of this season. It's like, find what that looks like. I love this idea of whimsy. I love this idea of awe. A lot of us have been in the lab, in the trenches, knocking it out. We've way under whimsied, way under awed, way underplayed for the last year and a half solid. Kicked in the teeth, kicked in the teeth, kicked in the teeth. Emotional growth, emotional growth, emotional growth. Spiritual devotion, spiritual devotion, spiritual devotion. Where's the play? Where's the whimsy? Where's the awe? Dry, like a desert of that. So loved that. Also really, really loved this idea of a simmer summer. That's how I live my life. That's what I heard you say. That ain't what you said. That's what I heard you say was a simmering summer. Like simmer. Who got the keys to my bimmer summer? Like, that's what I wrote down. Simmer summer. And it's so right. If you think about it, right? It's like, what do I want to do during the summer? I want to cruise. And after working your butt off in spring, it's time for a little break. After working your butt off in fall, it's time for a little break. I never thought about it that way. And everything that there is to do, can we be adding that level of slow burn and simmer? Thank you for bringing that back. Ugh, I just adore that. Ilona, I'm going to go to you next. What sparked out of what Jennifer said for you? And then Kira will park to you.
As soon as you said lazy and adult and how we've demonized those words, I went right to the etymology. I was like, what is the root of these words that we have demonized these words? Lazy's etymology is weak, feeble, and tired. And adult, the etymology is grow and nourish. And so this idea of this simmer summer, it's like that is the perfect way to take care of the feeling of lazy. Like, you can't outwork lazy. If it means I'm weak, feeble, and tired, I cannot work more to heal that. If I'm adulting and it means that I'm growing because I'm nourished, working more is not going to nourish me to grow, right? And so I really love that you brought those specific pillars to that piece, because we have demonized the feedback of what needs to be taken care of in these seasons. And it also reminds me of when I did a summer in Spain. Y'all, summer is hot. They do literally siestas. They shut down in the middle of the damn day. And they're like, we are sleeping. You can come back after sleeping hours because we be tired and it is too hot out here to keep capitalizing on everybody. And so I never occurred to me how Americanized or how capitalistic it is to push in seasons of rest, in moments of rest, in periods where we are incapable of continuing because of conditions, and how we just normalize demonizing the things that we used to do to take care of ourselves, to keep hauling, to be in the long haul. So I'm all here for summer. I'm here for it. Period.
Look, team summer. And it's so funny because if you really do think about it, almost every indigenous tradition that I can think of, and I'm a nerd for this, so I'm over here spanning the world of like I can't think of one indigenous traditional system that does not do some version of a siesta when the outside is extreme, either extreme hot or extreme cold. Like that just makes logical sense. Even in the animal kingdom, there is some sort of I am contesting with the world right now, and literally the state of either the hotness or the coldness. That is the number one job. But again, so capitalistic of us to make that a different thing. Kira, what sparked for you out of that? And then we invite you to slowly, sensually dip us into where your summer is dropping us as well. Because I can feel it. It's like honey just coming down the screen.
I love the slow sensual invitation after my name. Jennifer, I'm so in love with your becoming and the ways in which you become into your own practice. Portia said something initially. I can tell you've been doing the things you love. I can hear it. We can hear it. It is evident. I feel if there was anything that I could wish in this moment, not just for myself, but for all of us, um, as everybody has been, as I said, I didn't have notes, but as I've been taking notes, collectively, we're all saying the same thing. Do you really like what you do, where you are, how you are, why you are? Like, do you like it? Do you, and then something else that I heard collectively, but Portia talked about the enjoyment and the simmering of summer, Jennifer, and then Ilona giving us uh, the communication and redefining relationship around the way we deliver information. It still brings me back to like, do we actually, is there anything that we're doing that we enjoy? Is there anything about business that we enjoy? Is there anything about the season itself that we enjoy? Um, Jennifer, your way of uh there's a thing you do with this giggle when you're like delivering something that sparks so big for you, and I can't help but to catch it as well. But when you say fall in love even more, when you say savoring, when you say awe, wonder, and whimsy, and the way my sensual self over here just loves to cry and touch myself all the time, like permission granted. That's what it sounds like. More of this, please. As a beloved in our village says all the time. That's what I hear. That's what I am hearing. And Jennifer, I thank you. I thank you for continuing the path of letting us see the evidence of you living and enjoying exactly what you desire. That's what I feel. Okay, I'm gonna ride this wave with you guys. Um, because it's it's also and everything all at once. There's a collective feeling of, I've heard everybody say, I'm in a different relationship with. That has kind of preceded everybody's sort of intro. I started off, as I'm telling Portia this morning, I don't really have any notes for today. I'm just drifting. I'm just winging it. I might cry. I might start convulsing. I don't know. So I began to write, I'm in a different relationship with this season. I'm in a different relationship with grief. I'm in a different relationship with my body, how I show up and present to those outside of me. But like when I look in the mirror, it's very evident that we are in a different relationship with each other as we talk to our body. There's something about I've always come from this place of I know that I'm here to help people make meaning of seasons and symbols in the body collectively. But then there's also the granddaughter here, right now. There's the granddaughter. She's not trying to solve grief, but she wants to be witnessed as she lives in it. And it made me think about collectively, what does that mean for the world at large that we live in right now? There's so many things to solve. Everybody has answers, essentially, or so that is the intent that they come forward with. But I think about something that's larger than solving a problem and something that feels larger than solving grief right now. I feel that we're in the culture right now uh, that mistakes immediate understanding for wisdom. Going back to Jennifer's reminder of Whimsy, I can hear Granny Girl say, what about the things that we don't understand? We've forgotten how to let things be a mystery. The discernment of elders to sit with things, the discernment of ancient ancestral practices of the reason why we had root bags, the reason why we would clear our heads, the reason and wrap our heads, the reason why we would sweep our porch and wash down our baseboards is because we were making room for answers to come that we didn't know. We didn't go off on a tangent of cursing at everybody for not knowing and for not doing. And for, as Jennifer said, like everybody has, as Ilona talked about, everybody has an opinion on what we should be doing and why we should be doing it, so much so that we start to sound like the very thing that we are running away from, the very thing that we don't like. You become uh, the master that is abusing because you are even being abusive to the ways in which you deliver your gifts, let alone to others, but especially to ourselves. So I'm sitting with this something larger than our finite humanity right now is every feeling doesn't have to be content. And every mystery, it has an answer, but we don't have to be, it doesn't have to come by way of us. Every ending has to reveal its lesson before we've even stopped crying. Like, can we just be in the wonder, in active not knowing? And then can we play in that? And can we lay in that? And can we cry in that? And can we commune in that? And can we, I'm still living, as Granny Girl would tell me, just keep living. But I also know for a fact, spirit rarely works that way, where it rushes us into the very next thing and into an answer. So collectively, I'm coming into the knowing of summer in TCM as the heart. This season, traditional Chinese medicine, the heart governs summer. The heart also is the emperor of the body. And if we understand, whether you read tarot or astrology, like the emperor in some sense, uh, hierarchy, in some cases, it holds a more powerful position than the king. There's an authority there with the heart as emperor of the body, meaning no matter what season you're in, you still have to come back and check in with the heart. But to be in a season where the heart is most abundance, it's not a matter of balancing, because we're not going to get equal measure here, but harmonizing. And what does it mean to live fully in the heart space? To live in a season where summer belongs fully to the heart. The heart pumps blood. The heart doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't ask for accolades for pumping blood. It's the seat of the spirit. It is where joy lives. It is where intimacy lives. It is where truth resides. And it doesn't matter if you say it out loud. The heart says it lives here. Truth lives here. When you're ready for it, come back and open it. It's still here. And it lives there to be exposed or to be hidden. It's up to you. The heart is our point of origin for deep feeling, deep laughter, deep opening, deep rest. But I want to really highlight for this season, for us as practitioners, for those who are in practice and in service to each other, what does the heart look like when it is disturbed? And how to correct course, and not by outwardly doing, but we can also course correct by allowing, by discerning, by harmonizing. When the heart is disturbed, it is restless. Restlessness looks like over talking, overthinking, oversharing, over explaining. It is the ways in which we chase certainty because uncertainty feels unbearable. And so the heart goes back to, can you sit still and have a slow simmering, summary, slow burn, and let the answers coming the doing? Can you let certainty, can you let the uncertainty be uncomfortable? It doesn't bring certainty any closer to you, but actually the allowing of stillness and silence and solitude. Elder wisdom would say, just get somewhere and sit down, be still, lay down, be quiet, and then everything that you need starts to rush in. But for some reason, and we know the reasons, there's too many to name, but the awareness of the nature of our culture, the pulse right now, would have us to chase certainty to the point of burnout. And here we are in a season that governs a space within the body where you cannot afford to burn out at all. Nothing works without the heart. Everything drives from the heart. Your best ideas and the best way of presenting yourself, you're still coming from the heart. So I wonder if one of the medicines for this summer is allowing our hearts to become spacious enough to hold what cannot yet be explained. I think it's okay for us to, and I feel like we're being ushered back into this direction anyway, but it's okay for us to become incredibly comfortable with mystery. If something happens today, we want to know what it means tomorrow. This is one of the biggest lessons grief has catapulted me in right now. If something happens today, do you have to know what it means tomorrow? Can you just be present? Can you provide presence in the present? Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Ilona. If we lose someone, is there an immediate rush to curriculum and lesson edit? If a relationship ends, do we have to rush to define the chapter we're entering into next? So where's there room for enjoyment and whimsy and awe and wonder if we got to ChatGPT and clawed our way into every single solution? What did we do before these technological platforms? They serve their purpose, yes. However, the best technology that we came earthside with is the vessel that you are sitting, breathing, and moving in right now. So before my hands ever touch any external computer outside of me, I tap into the energetic codes within me and I ask those same questions. What would you have me to know today? As I shower, as I massage myself, as I hold and caress my breast, as I cry and rock back and forth, forth, I am still intuiting the best case scenario. I don't have to type it out, and I don't have to go to threads, and I don't have to go into a dialogue, and I don't have to go back and forth with anyone else if I really tap into the resource that was given to me by divine inception. It's built into me to know. So why would I drive myself crazy and burden my heart in trying to know something in a way that someone else, cultures, demographics of people who are afraid, who are unaware, who don't have access or the wherewithal to know how to tap back into the innate vessel and earth codes that were given to us. That's not your medicine. And I'm talking to someone specific right now. You came in here with medicine. It does not look like the world at large. But if you keep your attention on the world at large and the panic and paranoia that surrounds us, you will lose access to the medicine that you came in here with. Your heart is built and designed specifically for your assignment that you came in here with. And so the essence of this season is to sit in the truest self of who you are. And if you can continue to be in your truest self and your truest joy and your truest grief and your truest rage and in the true, like the core desire of it, the fire, the truest source of fire is blue. That flame, the true fire, is blue. What does that look like for you that doesn't belong to anyone else, that you did not rethread or repost or regurgitate in an idea or resample or refunnel for your business or recode and retonify for a formula that like it is innately already built within us, but it's in the heart. It's encoded in the heart. And the heart knows. The heart knows without needing anything else to feed it. Like I really wonder that this question that was given to us that I heard from all of you, that I asked myself, is there anything that I'm enjoying right now about this space that I'm in of grief? This is my first time grieving in community. This is my first time grieving with visibility. This is my first time grieving in practice of receiving as well. I think for a lot of society at large too, we have yet to, as we are still recovering from 2020 and beyond, right? So now we're in this space of we are all hurting. We are all in some sense, some form or another. There's some hurt. There's some underlining hurt somewhere still from 2019, 2020, 2017 even. Maybe it's coming back. And raising its head a little bit because we made a little bit more room to sit with it. We built a new relationship with it. And what does that look like to be in new relationship with the ways in which we feel and the way we live and the way we do business? Like, what does it look like to be in a different relationship with grief? Or the way you've been grieving the parts of your business that you don't enjoy or the parts of your body that are not your favorite. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes. Audacious and agency is another theme coming up for me this season. I heard Jennifer say, what if we play till we make it? What if we play till we make it? Not fake it, but play. I know what we've been given, and a lot of the ways in which we live are direct. It is a direct manifestation of things that have been given to us. What do you already know? Like, what has worked for you that you didn't research or look up or copy from anyone else? What play within grief makes sense for you? What play within rage makes sense for you? What play within business strategizing makes sense for you? And it doesn't have to be compartmentalized because we're in that part of living where everything is integrated. right? So I don't have to separate everything to the point where I become the thing that I'm typing into. You are not AI. You are not artificial. There is a divine intelligence with you. And it is okay to allow things to mold and integrate and meld together. And so I don't have to punish myself or anybody else for having a different relationship with things. The last thing I want to leave us with is tangible medicine for the body. Our ancestral lineage, no matter what culture you come from, did not survive by knowing everything. They survived by knowing what to trust. They cultivated relationships, and they did it with the land. They did it with plants. They did it with dreams. They did it with prayer. They did it with one another. Here's the collective collaboration, the community, the loving. I know Ilona pulling me out of my lone wolf season because I love it there. That it is my jam, but I also understand when it's time to integrate and to open the heart space so that I can be not artificially, but intelligent in the ways that I'm discerning how to move closer to my true self. In a world that rewards information, perhaps our work, I believe, is to recover relationship. Maybe pull back on so much information. Maybe push forward deeper into relationship. Information, yes, can fill the mind. We can be walking encyclopedias, as Granny Girl would say, but still know nothing. But I believe relationship is what transforms the heart. So in the Greek, the gates of the summer, there are three. And we call in TCM the gates of the summer through these astrological lenses. So this is the medical side of where Ilona took us, but we're going from Gemini to Cancer to Leo, and we're moving through the body, the nervous system, the arms, the chest, the throat. We're looking at the lungs, heavy on the nervous system. I'm going to repeat that probably 3 times because Mercury is in retrograde. So heavy on the nervous system, but also trusting movement within play, movement within whatever emotion, your strongest emotion that you are sitting in, that you find movement in that. That is the medicine of the olden days, but is the medicine of the now as well. You can't just sit with the information. You have to provide movement with it. And it's not just how you move money across accounts or how you move information across your digital tools. How are you moving it through your body? Has your heart registered where you are? Like, I know you know the stuff and you got the things and you did the research and you attended the class and you got the certification and you did but where does it register from the neck down that you know what you know? You trust what you trust. You are who you are. Okay. Cancer, we're moving into stomach, breast, right? Because we're still in the upper chakras of the body, and we're closer to what is going to help me nourish and govern the area around my heart. We're looking at the diaphragm, digestive fluids, nourishment all around. For Leo, this is late July into August, we're looking at the spine. So if you look at where we begin in Gemini and where we are buffered at the end of summer, you got the front and the back of the body, and that is how we harmonize. That's how you nourish the heart. There's a lot of attention on the front of the heart and on the heart center. When I have a client on my table, I love to get the back of the heart first. The back of the heart, the masculine side of the body, that's the side that is doing too much at times. So nourishment, you start at the back of the body first, you work your way to the front. We're looking at circulation, vitality, the upper back, remember, because we want to nourish the lungs and the heart together. The heart is the name of the game. I would say if there was something that I could leave, hmm, those of you who are in a space where emotions, celebration, living, existing, surviving, loving, caring, and being cared for just feels like a gumbo right now. And there are no defining answers to find movement, but also sit with this one question. What mystery in your life have you been trying to solve that might actually be asking you to just accompany it? There are some things that don't need our solving. There are some things that just ask for us to sit with it. And primarily, it's ourselves. When you encounter someone who is in deep sorrow, grieving, and loss, a lot of the times, 10 times out of 10, it's not your solutions that they desire, it's your company. Questions within you and the parts of your body that you are reconciling, the energetic parts of your body that has experienced loss on a cultural level, lost on a familial level, lost on a communal level, loss as in not just something was taken away from you, but like identity shifting, relationships changing, realization, things are coming online, loss of control in a lot of these things, it's not for you to solve. It's just for you to sit with it. Just see what it feels like to accompany it. Uh, and I think this is our rest here.
Woo! Whew, we're gonna breathe on it. We're gonna breathe on it. The mystery. Mm. I'm not even gonna jump. I'm gonna let Ilona bring us in, and then I'm gonna run to Jennifer. Ilona, what sparked in there for you?
I mean, I think that last part, like the hard to name the game, is such a key to the flavor of the wisdom that you just dropped, right? Because there was such you know, there is a mistake that to know something is to embody a work. There's a mistake that to consciously be able to process someone's grief and hold space for someone is actually, this, oh, I have information to parse out, right? Like it's all about like moving out of your head. We're all in our fucking heads, y'all. I don't know if I'm allowed to do expletives, but I just did, right? And to move
You can make
into
all the
her.
cuss words and say all the
Okay.
things.
We're in our fucking heads, y'all. All the goddamn time. And between Jennifer reminding of us to love our bodies and Kita, just this, what you just gave us is such a return to the heart, is a return to like, it's not in your mind. Like we're relying on our brains too much. And that's what's in the way in modern society. And so all like I like for me to not ramble on and on is like the most distilled version of the honey you just poured on us is the heart is the name of the game. Period. Thank you.
Ooh, again, sincere and literal magic. Jennifer, what sparked for you in that?
Yeah. That was just such a dose of beautiful medicine. Thank you, Kira. Always just the way you express and the way the energy that it comes through, it just like it lands in my heart. The words that you speak really land in my heart. So thank you for that. I think what really sparked for me was that piece about how we try to make meaning about everything and where we just want to jump to that like what does this mean? Why did that happen? I've Gosh, this is such a huge awareness for me. I've always said that's one of my gifts is being able to find the silver lining in everything. Like I can find the silver lining in literally almost everything. But how have I robbed myself from the opportunity to just be in the mystery, be with the emotion, be witness to myself, be witness to others when I'm just jumping like, oh, it just happened yesterday, but here's the silver lining. Like how and then that like just kind of ties a bow on it for me. It's like, okay, done. We put the bow on it. We could set aside, we can move on. So I just feel like there's so much richness in sitting in the mystery and being in that spaciousness of the heart. Like that I underlined so many times, allowing spaciousness in the heart. And our heart just wants to be it just wants our company, as do the other humans in our lives. They just want our company. As do we want from others. We just want each other's company. That is the medicine. That is the medicine. Oh, thank you. Thank you, my loves.
Ooh, y'all, how you make everybody cry? Wait a minute. I thought you was crying. You passing on the tears. Jennifer and Ilona, also thank you for bringing that home. I just want to thank everybody on this call, but especially Kira, for the audacity, the literal audacity to be seen in your grief, to be seen in your vulnerability, because the invitation that just made by you being present in your presence, my God, today. My soma thanks you. My body thanks you. I can only imagine. Y'all ain't gonna have me weeping here, because I do have words to say. Whoo! The mystery. Kira, the uncertainty feels unbearable. Are you choosing certainty to the point of consistent burnout? Friend, when I tell you almost everything I had to say could truly be distilled down into that right there. Into that right there. If I had a soapbox to stand on for entrepreneurs who are out to have the audacity to desire a life with which they design, standing in the face of the reality that we are standing in the face of, it would be, bitch, embrace the mystery. Because at the end of the day, the answers for the people who had the answers don't even work no more. That's just where we are. That's just where we are. Ain't none. What answer? Ain't none. Ain't none. And what you said about the answer coming in the doing is also a medicine that I could shake it. This is a summer to get into your body, because we want the certainty of knowing why we need to do what we need to do. And a lot of that certainty is going to come in the doing. To Ilona's point, a lot of that clarity is going to come in the doing. A lot of the heartness is going to come in the doing. And I feel like a lot of the doing at this moment in time, whether it feels light or heavy, is still play. And play in the sense that them people at the TED defined play as anything that you do with no desire or intentionality of what the outcome is. That is play across the board. So whether it feels like you're playing with your favorite, new toy, or it feels like your heart is outside of your chest and you cannot believe how big things are, stick to the doing. Stick to the doingness of it. To Ilona's point, stick to the moment of being in the now. That is the invitation of this season. And interestingly enough, it is the way that I feel like hearts work. Heart says, go do. We say, well, what about, and how about, and what does it mean? And where do I put it? And how do I do it? Well, where's the funnel? Well, it's not in my strategy. And do I have capacity? And X, Y, and Z. If you're intellectualizing your capacity, we're not actually hitting it in the first place. 1, 2, right? Can we be out of the head and a little bit more in the body? And really, as business owners, can we release ourselves into the mystery? It's something about it. Can we release ourselves into the mystery and enjoy it also for enjoyment's sake? That's a big piece to me of what the energy of this summer in business wants, is, can you enjoy it for enjoyment's sake? And can the medicine be in that? You don't always have to know why you're doing everything that you're doing. Sometimes you're just doing it. And this year and next year, more than ever, are going to be a year of unexpected miracles in the unexpected doing. It's not going to look like the thing that would bring you the comfort of your clarity. Your next miracle is likely sitting in something innovative and chaotic. I wish I had better answers for you. I don't make the weather. I'm just here to report it. The energy here is saying your miracle is in your ability to be present in the moment, take advantage of the now, be innovative in a way that you've never even seen before, so ain't no way you're gonna know what you're supposed to do, and allow yourself to fall into the mystery of the chaos so that you may be formed in the process. And whoever you are formed to become will then have more answers about what there is to do then. But they won't be the answers. They'll be an answer of what there is to do then. And then, and then, and then, and then. And that really does feel like the medicine of this season. It was something so loud for me to make sure to talk about, because I am watching, and Kira, I can't get off of this because I am watching so many brilliant people that I love make themselves crazy because they're uncertain. I'm watching so many brilliant people that I love do 5 times too much, waste way too much money, make themselves wrong day in and day out because the thing that they planned isn't going according to plan. Sis, I don't know what else to tell you. It's mysterious. And like Kira's granny girl said, what there is to do is to sit with it. And sit with who you are in the face of it. Ooh, I know, you're becoming a different person. You have no control over it. And the best thing you could humanly do is surrender to it. It's happening and be present enough in the moment and in the now to allow it to be that thing. Again, I could go for days on that. I could go for days on that. What else was I finna say? Because Lord, then knocked it off. Oh my God. The other big thing for me that was kind of in that same vein is something that I've been talking about a lot because I've been having a lot of conversations around kind of some events that I have coming up this summer. We're hosting a tailgate that we're calling the Be Great Tailgate. And it came out of this conversation around being planted over buried by our current circumstances. And I think that it speaks to this conversation around letting yourself be in the mystery and making the best of what you can where you are, right? I'm seeing a lot of us talk about lemons, not enough lemonade. And here's the thing, there's a lot of lemons, but we are resourced and innovative. There's lemonade, lemon tea, lemon pesto. We can make a lemon salad, icebox pie. Like, there's a lot that we can do with these lemons. There's a lot that we can do with these lemons besides talk about how bitter they are and how hard it is to eat them. Like, we can make lemonade, and I desire for people in this summer to take whatever the circumstances are and use them to the best of your advantage. I don't care where you're standing, and allow yourself to enjoy whatever that is, whatever it means to use these things to the best of your advantage. Allow yourself to enjoy it. Allow yourself to enjoy it. And I'm so, so, so glad, Kira, that you mentioned also this conversation around movement. I was trying to kind of get my downloads here for the day in regards to like allowing yourself to enjoy the summer, surrendering into a more simmery, yummy summer, letting summer be yummy, making a decision that I'm going to enjoy this summer. And then acting accordingly at whatever kind of that would look like, finding that whimsy and finding that awe. And I'm standing in the shower, and Spirit loudly in my ear is like, not enough ass is being shaken. And I said, Spirit, you right on. That's a show you right on. Not enough ass being shaken. And the way it kept being shown to me is like, we have been sitting in so much hard, and it is in our hips, and it is in our back, and it is in our ass, and it is in our liver, and it is in whatever this is. I don't know enough about anatomy to tell it is. Them things in our back close to your tailbone. Whatever organs are hanging out in there, they're full. They're full of your character building. They're full of the L's you took over the last year and a half, and who you've become, and who you had to give back, and who you had to shed, and what it is. Go shake your ass this summer. Go put 2 feet in the ground and find a movement that feels celebratory in your body. It's the best piece of business advice that I think I could give over the summer for whatever reason. And Spirit says it's so loud. So many of y'all's millions are stuck in ass you won't shake. Write that down. Put it somewhere. There's 6 figures to 7 figures stuck in ass that you won't shake, in feelings that you won't feel, and in things that you won't process because they won't move through your body because they're stuck. And it speaks a little bit to this conversation of a lot of us as business owners attempting to make art when we haven't had enough life, or we haven't had enough time to live and integrate the life that we have, right? It's like, I'm trying to work, serve, but yet you're not living until the service feels shallow, or it feels like you can't quite get the satisfaction out of the service anymore. It's coming from this place of lack of celebration and stagnancy of movement. There's no current for the currency. So there's something there to go live your life this summer. Find something to celebrate. Shake some ass on it. Do it for me. Find a place that, feels like the early 2000s, if that's your thing, because that's a lot of our thing. And shake some ass, do some movement, move your body in a celebratory way that helps it remember also that you can move and through and process, and allows for that to happen. Also, again, lastly, the thing I will kind of pull into this is live your life around the people that you love. There is a cold, hard reality on the internet that is being algorithmically fed to you in a way that is making things seem even worse than the bad that it already is. The truth lies in the face of the people that you love. And this summer, it's going to be really important that you do that personally, but also really important that you do it professionally. A lot of us are used to serving our communities, but when was the last time you just enjoyed your community? The same people who you say that you're here to do this with, I want you to go play with them. Go experience them in something that doesn't require them to receive from you. Go live in and with your people. I always say that summer is the season of the people, and there are so many opportunities for you to go be with your people. Something that was so loud for me that I've been talking about on live, and I'll keep probably talking about all summer, is that this year is really asking you to rededicate yourself to your people. The summer is the stage for that. And if you're concerned or unsure about whether they are your people or not, go be with them. And to Ilona's point, go assess the data of your feelings of how you feel when you show up to them. It will give you so much information about what it is that you want to experience with them, but also, to Kira's point of the power in the doing, go experience your people. It will likely give you a lot of insight into how better to serve them, if that is something you desire to do. If your offers feel dusty musty, or you feel like you're in between something, you're not really sure. I'm not really sure how I want to be in practice right now. I don't know kind of how I want to be in my contribution. Go be around your people. Hear what's going on for them really. See them in their natural element. It will be so incredibly clear how best to create for them where they are right now, and in a way that your feelings actually align you with feeling like, this is for me to do. To Kira's point also, that harmonizing. Go harmonize and be in the same song with your people this summer. Find a way to be in the same song with your people. Listen to them sing their song, you sing your song, and find harmonic resonance. You ain't gonna find it if you're at home by yourself. Or if you are, making the best summer ever for your kids and you've never even thought about the best summer ever for you. That's the one that always gets me. Because every time I talk to somebody, they're like, oh, the kids have camp and I am doing that. And then, I have the meal prep for that. And then my auntie needs that. And I'm like, girl, where is your camp? Where are you, where's your best summer ever plan? Clearly, you know how to provide the best summer ever because you just told me about it for a 15-year-old. What does it look like for you? I'm so intrigued. And I think in that same lane of a good summer and a restful summer, I'm interested to know not all rest is created equal, and every season requires a different kind of rest. The summer rest for me also feels like less agendas. Enter into space with your people agendaless. Have less of a motive. Be there to experience. Be there to be in the mystery. Be there to taste your people to a certain extent, see what it tastes like to be in the air with them. That may also in and of itself create and bring a magic forward that feels, that may give you at least the certainty of how to move next forward in a way that's not AI or superficial or another fucking algorithm or another funnel. That's something that's real. right? That's like, oh, this is the next thing that this community is asking for. Where is it in harmonic resonance to where I am and how I would like to be showing up? You won't be able to get there if you don't do the light present experiencing early. And summer, this is a great time to do it. Let's spend the summer experiencing. Let's spend the fall, again, harvesting and looking at what data I created. There won't be enough data if you don't go out and experience people and experience this celebratory energy. If there's nothing you heard me say today, find something to celebrate this summer. I'm going to ask you to celebrate it with your ass, but also in general, find an experiential space to experience the celebration of your summer. You should come back to me in fall and tell me this is what celebration felt like this summer. That would make me so happy. Again, best business strategy I could give you. Truthfully, your business will thank you, and so will your spirit. Okay. Again, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's what I have to say about that. Let us pop. Kira, I'm gonna go to you first, and then we'll go Jennifer and Ilona. Kira, anything spark for you in that?
Hell yes. Anytime shaking ass is involved, I don't care where I am, please invite me. We could do virtual grief play date, ass shaking. I am there. I I have to mention because as soon as you said the parts on the back, uh, that be holding stuff, we talked about this somewhere between fall and winter. Kidneys and how they are partnered with the lungs, right? Holding grief. But the kidneys, the water of the kidneys are ancestral waters. The water, the presence, the evidence of your ancestors are in your kidneys. And when you don't move that water around, it becomes murky, musty, and stale. And the way that you move the water of the kidneys in the ancestral way, whether whatever the occasion was, they were getting married or they were grieving or they were welcoming somebody into the village or a baby was born, the mothers, the women would start to yell and shake their hips. Literally, you can go search it right now and find an African woman head first, upside down, booty just going. It's an ancestral shake of the waters to move the waters throughout the body. So this ass shaking is real medicine. And the fact that you just gave us such an ancestral coded invitation right now, I cannot pass that up. And again, remember every organ still has to answer to the heart. So as I'm moving and shaking up those waters, I'm still nourishing the heart. I'm still getting more blood flow to the heart. I need my heart to like really be sourced with blood and oxygen so that my brain can think clearly and receive the answers that I am seeking. So that was real good, friend. I'm also just also really thinking of a master plan about an adult camp and adult play dates. And that it has to happen. And it more of those, please. And let everybody do that. Like it doesn't have to be just one person. Nobody has to be the master, founder, creator of the thing. Everybody can initiate a play date in an adult camp and let it be in the field of gathering those who you are in the likeness of. That's the last thing I have to say about the fellowship that are non-transactional. My God, it's been something I've been sitting with for a few seasons now, but being in non-transactional gathering and fellowship, that is actually how you will find your people. That is actually how you will build community. That is actually how you will not show up to an empty room when you are in service to people who look and feel like you, but also the larger demographics. Like I don't always have to, there's more than one way to create energetic exchange. And nothing reveals to me more when somebody is coming from a place of lack when they don't understand the core essence of energetic exchange. It's not just physical money. Thank you.
Woo! Again, when I tell you, this how I know you be telepathically sending me stuff in the shower because I don't even know what the organs do. But when I tell you it's landed, and That's money, money, money. Jennifer Bohn, what sparked for you out of that and this?
Oh my gosh, so much. I've got a page of notes for each one of you. Brilliance. So good. I love the two pieces. One, unexpected miracles and come from the unexpected doing. I don't know if I quoted that quite right, but in that genre, right? Like what unexpected miracles are about to come from our unexpected doingness, like being in that innovative energy, like this innovation just keeps really being loud for me of like, how are we doing things differently moving forward? And less agenda. Oh my gosh, that's underlined like 14 times. Less agenda and being in that mystery again, right? Like I feel that's such a theme of this call is that mystery, and can we be and have it not written out, have it not, we're so conditioned to have the plan and make the Q1 plan and the yearly plan and the this plan and that plan, and it just kills the magic. It kills the mystery. And I also can feel people as we're in this conversation of being in the mystery, being in the magic, being in the unknown, in the uncertainty, like how fucking scary that is. We're so conditioned to know everything and we need to know exactly what's happening and how is it happening. And like, it's really, really scary to be in that unknown. So I just want to like speak that out of like anyone who's like hearing this conversation and like, yeah, that sounds great. That'd be nice. And that sounds beautiful. But when I'm actually in the unknown, when I'm actually in this uncertainty, in the mystery, how uncomfortable that is, how scary that can be. And I just feel like it's bringing it back to community, be in conversation with people when you're in that space of fear and anxiety and like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this mystery thing. I need the plan. I need the agenda. Like, speak with people, come to any one of us. Like, we are down to have that conversation and just be in that conversation, be in that exploration because we're all exploring it too. Like that. I'll be honest, it feels really uncomfortable to be in the mystery for myself. My little Virgo sun is like, no. No, we are not doing mystery. We are not doing uncertainty. Sorry. And so just, that's where we get to bring in that community and also the medicine of the heart, because that heart is that unconditional love. That unconditional love is the antidote to fear, to the anxiety. So like bring that back in. So thank you. Thank you for that medicine, Portia. So good.
Oh, I love, again, this is business advice. And thank you, Jennifer, for speaking into the nervous system of people who are going to receive this, because you're thinking of it, thinking of our people and how it lands on them. But this is business advice. I also want to name that people who have made a lot of really good money. And what I call good money is that you've made enough money for you, your family, and left over for the people around you, and you actually enjoy it. I don't count the billionaire class into that, because that is actually not what they usually have done. They usually are slaves to wherever that looks like. We can talk about that for another day. But people who have made really, really good money are really, really good at the mystery, are really, really good at the next right step and riding the wave. That is, again, so for those of you all who may be going like, this is not necessarily business advice, lean in, friend. Because I'll be honest, this is the real business advice that makes whatever you decided to do with your funnel actually make sense. Just popping that in. Ilona, bring us home. What sparked for you out of that conversation as well?
So, as you were talking, I couldn't help but think that human design was actually really originally called the Human Design Experiment, right? And so everything that I think all of us, right? Like all of us are kind of speaking into this idea that life is an experiment. There is gnosis that we can use to guide us, but that doesn't mean that gnosis equals certainty, right? Because this is a freaking experiment. And the only way we're actually going to get the experiment is by being in the experiment and not in our head, right? When you were like, I don't know, there's a part of me that was just like, okay, like like there are tons of people I know who can spout human design information much more than me, but then don't embody the work. They're not being their design. They are still in their conditioning. They're still not moving their body. They're still not living. Oh, I think that's the part you said. You got to live your life. How do we experiment? this human design experiment, this life experiment, how do we experiment being in uncertainty? You just got to be out there and live your life. Sitting home, being sad because you haven't figured things out is not the answer. Now, this is different from grief because grief is a process. But like, if you're like, my business isn't working, let me go to ChatGPT. I did everything ChatGPT. Why isn't it working? Because you're not living your life. You need to go out there. You need to be okay to just give something a try, have some play and fun with it. Know that it's not always going to work out, but you're always going to work out. Like, you are always going to work out. The little things in between might not work out, but that's also part of the goddamn journey, right? You just got to live your life. And then the last thing that came into my head was a Mark Anthony song, right? I don't know if you've heard Vivir mi vida, right? He's like, voy a reír, voy a llorar, vivir mi vida, la 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 la. I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna live my life, la 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 la, right? Like, life is the whole bloody spectrum. It is not, it all works out. With the highs, we will have the lows. When you take medication for sadness, it also blocks out the happiness because it's all connected. You cannot just block one emotion. You cannot just block one experience. It is part of the journey. It's part of your life. That's what came up. I'm complete.
Again, we love a mic drop. And I am so with you. Do you know, also, telepathy, so crazy. I've been singing that song like most of my life. And you know, I don't speak Spanish, but I'd be singing in all the Spanish. I looked up the words not even like 3 weeks ago, and I've been obsessed with the I'm gonna live my life. No wonder I've just been saying this over myself, having no idea what I'm saying. But it is absolutely and in and on the point. It's so good. So good. And I think I hope that you all hear as we round this conversation out. We have been in it for the long haul. We have given and poured our sweet little hearts into you all, kind of thinking through this summer. I hope that you can hear that this is a summer for you. This is a summer for your heart. It's giving a lover girl summer, regardless of how you genderly express. I don't care. Everybody's having a lover girl summer. I don't care how masculine you are. The invitation is to let yourself have a lover girl summer and to know that whatever is in the mystery, that you were built and you were born for it. This mystery that you are waiting in will not break you if you don't let it. This place that you are standing in can make you play this summer, enjoy your summer. What if you could play toward your prosperity this summer? What if everybody around you that just played with you and ended in prosperity? There's an invitation in the mystery, my good people. We are so grateful to be in community with you. We will be back again in fall to come let you all know what we're seeing for that season. Thank you for spending the time to be with us. Thank you for using your life to make the kind of good in the world that you want to see. Thank you for caring for you, because that is the source of all the goodness around you at the current moment in time. We love you big. We love you for real. We are so stoked that you spent the time with us, and we will see you next time.